Lamborghini and Enzo Ferrari are two of the most well-known rivals in the automotive world, with their manufacturing competition gifting the car world with some of the most stunning models ever created. This fierce competition led to design, innovation, and experimentation in the never-ending effort to improve and beat out the competition. In the early 70s, Mr. Lamborghini decided it was time to add a smaller model to the lineup. Until then, his cars consisted of only V12 engine models, and it was time to add a V8 powered Lamborghini to the mix. Work began on a model that would become the Lamborghini Urraco. The competition between Ferrari and Lamborghini started a long time ago. Ferruccio Lamborghini was a grape farmer, and he started making tractors and built up a small fortune in doing so. So of course he bought a Ferrari. The clutch kept going out on his Ferrari. So he found out that the clutch in his Lamborghini tractor could actually be used in the Ferrari. When he met with Enzo one time at some high-end function, he told Enzo that the clutch in his tractor is better than the clutch in Enzo's Ferrari. Well, Enzo did not take too kindly to those comments and told Ferruccio to stick to building his tractors and he will stick to building his sports cars. Ferruccio did not like that too much. He decided to start making his own sports cars and the competition began. Ferrari was very much focused on the connection between the driver and the car. Enzo even said one time that my motors have a soul. He always believed that his cars were more than just a machine. There was a connection, whereas Lamborghinis were more about aggression and power. They have very striking designs, minimalistic but still kind of in your face, along with the bright colors. They were centered more on exclusivity and power. So two very similar but different cars. And I think that the competition between Ferrari and Lamborghini helped both cars just become better and better as the competition continued. Lamborghini had all V12 models beforehand, and so they needed something to compete with the Porsche 911, the Dino 246. They needed something with a slightly smaller engine to appeal to the masses. So they came up with the Urraco. It came out at a time that was pretty troublesome for the automotive world in general. It wasn't just Lamborghini. The 70s were hard for all auto manufacturers because of the oil crisis and because the US had just implemented very strict DOT and EPA regulations. The cars had to change drastically in order to conform to those regulations. And Lamborghini came up with the Urraco. This one is a 250, which means it's a 2.5 liter. But for the US market, they came up with the 200, which is a 2-liter engine. They also had to put the big rubber bumpers and other little additions onto the 200 Urracos because they needed to conform to those DOT regulations. The good news is this is a 250 and it is a Euro model. So it has the really pretty chrome bumpers and it has the bigger 2.5-liter engine. And the best part overall is this is a 1974 car. It complies with all 50 states' smog regulations. It's actually smog exempt everywhere. Living in California as an automotive enthusiast, the smog laws here are really horrible. I mean, they're very hard to conform to. Having a 1974 car like this means you never have to worry about the smog regulations here, and it conforms to all 50 states. You can have it anywhere, which makes this car awesome. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know I have a slight obsession with how manufacturers come up with the names for their cars. And Lamborghini definitely has an interesting kind of way they name their cars. So they're all named after some form of famous Spanish fighting bull. As an example, the Jarama is actually named after a region in Spain where a lot of the famous fighting bulls are bred. And the Urraco actually translates to little bull, which I assume assume is because Lamborghini had their V12 engines before this, and this is their first V8, so it is their little bull. The full name of the car is Urracco P250S. So the P stands for posterior, or the mid-engine mounting. 250, as I said before, is the 2.5 liter displacement of the car, and the S is stradarial, or street, and it's actually their most luxurious version. The S models have some slight upgrades, the leather interior, power windows, little additions to give you those extra creature comforts, and they also have more powerful engines with the bigger Weber carburetors. As a car designed by Bertone, it has that very classic angular kind of look. I like the Bertone design. Some of them were not a huge hit, like the 308 GT4 Ferraris have the Bertone wedge-shaped design, but they weren't an instant success. But on this car, the design, the layout, it's just an instant classic. The dash layout is very intuitive. I love when all the gauges are just right there in front of you. The steering wheel, the deep steering wheel on this car is a lot of fun. This car had over $100,000 worth of work put into it between 2015 and 2020. It had the full engine rebuild, the clutch done, the transmission synchros, so it's really a pleasure to drive around. This Urracco reverse is the same kind of pattern as in the Ferraris, where it's left and up, but in Ferraris, to get into reverse, the lockout, you go left and you push down, and then you go up. But on this one, you push left and then you pull the boot up, and then you can go into reverse. And I find that very interesting. It's all just the little unique features in each car and how they're different from each other. The glass on the interior right here, that looks into the engine bay. So when you're in the car, you can actually see the engine behind you, which is always fun. I know it's done on quite a few other cars, but I love that feature. I think it is just so much fun because the soul of the car is its engine, and so it's always great to have that view of it behind you as you drive. Another nice thing about this car is it actually does have fairly good luggage space. So it has this whole rear compartment here for luggage, and it does have that kind of Dino-esque vibe with the luggage compartment right here and the engine compartment right here, and it's a good amount of space. It's a lot more than what the Dino has. There's really no space in the front of the car. That's where the spare tire is, but they did make up for it in the back. So you could put 2 overnight bags back here without issue and go on a little road trip. And it is a 4-seater car. Now, the rear seats of this car are not big enough for normal sized human beings. You can definitely stick your kids back there, but I think you would greatly upset your friends if you tried to take 4 average sized guys on a road trip in this car. I have had a lot of fun with this car, and it's just a great car. It's been so much fun to drive, and it's in my favorite color combination of the blue with the black interior, which I find absolutely stunning. So I have really fallen in love with this car. Plus it has so many unique little features, like the interior door jamb on the driver's side of this car is actually signed by Lamborghini's test driver, Valentino Balboni. So it has so much personality and soul to it, and I love this car. So I hope you guys have learned a little something new about the Lamborghini Urraco, and if you like this video, then please subscribe and stay tuned because we got a lot more content coming very soon.